So you can expect much more than 5 universities now to come to you for consulting. You also brought in all the soft skills that are necessary, including the most crucial one of that entrepreneurial mindset, which is what will drive any market from this point onwards. So we have our last panelist, last but not the least, is the most important one. So let me introduce him, and then we'll listen to him, and then we'll come back with the questions. There are a few questions that are already being posted. So Eldo Kurubula, thank you for patiently waiting. You were here right from the beginning, but then you're also a man behind this entire event. Eldo is a serial entrepreneur. He has made Kochi his base after his stint in various corporates. And then now he's not only a serial entrepreneur, but also an angel investor in multiple diverse areas. But most important for us today is that he is the founder of Vedatma, which is all about his passion for allowing people to find a right career path, as in, match the personality with where they can be headed. So he has this wonderful expertise in psychometric skills, which he channelizes into providing youngsters with a career choice. Because as Devi mentioned, with Spotify, we are all bombarded with choices. There is a tyranny of choice that goes along in this new world. So here is a man who can help us with his background and then guide the next generation into making the right choices right from the beginning in education. So over to Elder.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I think we've had such a great introduction today by Professor Debashish. What a way to start. I think he did talk about the sweeping changes that we're facing and in the world as a whole. He actually almost scared us by saying probably pandemic is only the beginning and there are other changes that's yet to set in. Yes, which is very true. We are actually going through a age of absolute changes. A lot of technological advances that is coming our way, and sweeping changes through the kind of jobs that we understand, changing the job markets altogether. What was interesting when Debashish talked about this was he kept on talking about this cognitive skills. He talked about what should we look forward to then, if all these are going to be changed, what should we hold on to? He actually did mention something about holding on to your values for a lifetime. I love that, right? I mean, it's really interesting. So this is what I want to start out with, saying that, when we are talking about changes in the job market, and this is what everybody's listening in for, I think they're looking for career inputs and things like that. When we talk about, the changes that sweeping the market and the new trends, and, our topic is all about disruptions. See, we need to understand at the broadest level what makes us human, right? I think that's what it is all about. See, we have a lot of physical skills, we have cognitive skills. We need to understand that a lot of our physical skills will be automated sooner than later, right? It is already happening with the industrial revolution, started happening a century ago. So, it's going to keep happening. More and more intelligent automation is going to come and, keep changing our physical skills. Now, when you talk about cognitive skills, yes, even there, intelligent automation with AI, machine learning, it is actually, straddling into that sphere also of cognitive skills. But at the end of the day, I think what we need to just reflect back and think about is what makes us human. And I think that's my starting point today, where my company, it's called Vedatma. Actually, Vedatma stands for knowledge of self. So that's what it stands for. So this is what we want to help students and kids, on their career journey. We are trying to just communicate to them without any kind of confusion that the whole journey starts with understanding yourself. Now, there is a reason why I'm saying this. See, when you look at the career counseling sphere in this country, see, it's in a very nascent stage. A lot of changes are happening, a lot of companies coming in, changing things for the better. But still, compared to a lot of developed countries, India is still in a very nascent stage when it comes to career counseling. Now, when I talk about career counseling, see, what people understand at career counseling is very different. In India, we kind of understand mainly career counseling as placements, right? How can I, which university should I apply abroad? That's almost understood as career counseling. We don't get into understanding a deeper part of things before placements. There are a lot of things that is happening. So if I should just put it in context, see, we always talk about this 4 W's in the career puzzle, right? To figure out about good career counseling, we need to solve for 4 W's. What are the 4 W's? See, what people normally talk about today is the what and the where, those 2 W's. See, what course should I do? Which university? The where is which university should I do it? So people are just in India still obsessed with that what and where. Now, the other 2 W's are what we try to bring in, which are who are you, right? Who am I all about? That who part, the who is very, very important. Who am I? See, I think that actually gets a deeper into understanding yourself, which is very, very important in a career journey, understanding the who part. And I would say even more important, the why part. See, I think a lot of adults like ourselves haven't even answered that in our lives, like the why part. Why should I work? What is my purpose in life? What are my life objectives? I loved when Debashish talked about out of the 3 C's he mentioned, the first was clarity. The first was clarity, and the why is clarity. See, the why am I in this? Why do I want to get into this career? Right? So it's almost asking that big question of, okay, why should I get into this? In companies, we talk about mission statements and vision statements. Why not at an individual level, right? Why not? See, I mean, you have to answer that why, because it's creating a vision statement for yourself. And I think there's nothing more important in life at a very early stage. And I'm not talking about students from even ninth grade onwards. Should start thinking, inculcating that why in their whole approach to life. So the problem is, the what and where was always, that was being, answered in the society. We are trying to figure out, okay, trying to help students answer the who and the why. And this is where psychometric assessments come in to understand the who and a larger part why. See, there are a lot of psychometric assessments in the market. Sure enough, I would say what is important in going and trying to understand the process using psychometric assessments. Just look at the reliability and validity of the psychometric assessments. Using psychometric assessments is a start. Any psychometric assessments would do. At least if we are not using it, I would say that is way far off from the objective of using it. At least try using the psychometric assessments. What the psychometric assessments would help you is answer those 4 W's, right? And I want to just get a little deeper here. When I say, when you talk about career counseling, there are different models, but at least one of the most effective models is trying to understand yourself through at least 3 aspects, which becomes very important in a career. I would name this as your personality, your interest, and your aptitude. So these 3 things are very important. Unfortunately, in India, and you can't blame it, the system, because that's the most evident one, people keep thinking that aptitude is the way forward, because that's most visible in a kid, right? Some kid has a mathematical ability, some kid has an artistic ability. So the parents and the student try to put that as a benchmark for potential. Now here we're trying to say, yes, aptitude, obviously your skills are important. Aptitude means the skills you're naturally good at, right? Those are important. But equally important are the other 2 aspects of your interest. When I say interest leads to motivation. I think the starting point of any career would be, you shouldn't do anything in life that you're not interested in, right? I know Debashi said, the wrong advice is follow your passion, right? I still remember that, and I kind of smiled when he said that. See, following your passion, but with certain other things, right? That's the right forward. Following your passion would be just latching onto your interest. But no, look at your aptitude. And the third thing, which hardly anybody looks at, personality. See, we all know we are all different. I mean, I don't need more explanations for that. I'm definitely different from, my best friend, right? So, what is it that makes us unique? Our characteristics, behaviors. All this plays a big role in the kind of right careers you should get into. Because every career needs certain kind of characteristics to, for you to be able to do something better. Think about it this way. It's very difficult to be somebody else other than yourself in a job, right? If you try to be that, maybe you can do it for a very short time. But if you try to do it for a longer period of time, it's absolutely frustrating. I mean, a small point I would want to make is, imagine a introverted kind of a person, right? Who's not very comfortable leading with, talking to too many new people. He's comfortable or she's comfortable in her skin, but not too comfortable meeting new people and talking to them. Imagine such a person lands up in a sales job, right? So you get the idea, right? So the whole point is, when you actually try to be somebody else all the time in a job which is not yourself, it's absolutely frustrating. And this is something that we completely miss out in the whole career puzzle, right? Trying to figure out, oh, I have certain kind of personality. How does that play in certain careers? And there's a lot of research that's gone into this. How certain kind of career roles or jobs match into certain personality types. This has been studied for decades, and there's a lot of research behind these kind of things. So I'm not talking about something that's new. I'm talking about something that's proven. A lot of feedback from the working community that's come back and validated such researches that certain personality types are suited for certain kind of job roles. So this is where we should actually look at those three aspects and just not be swayed wrongly by just aptitude alone. The other advice I would want to give to the parents probably listening to is that, see, the world is completely changing, disruptions happening. Earlier, the students used to listen to the parents a lot in terms of careers, or getting an input or advice about careers. And that was quite natural because the free flow of information wasn't there, right? I mean, your internet was, just developing. The kind of information at your fingertips was less then. So you had to rely on your parents actually to get the kind of information because they had the exposure to the world of work. But now I want to tell the parents as well as the students, things have drastically changed. See, the free flow of information has assured that even the students know what the latest trends are, right? They would know. It's all over the place. Second, the jobs are itself like morphing and changing at a fast rate. So when an adult who's been working for so many years, probably they're not very used to what's happening with this, all these technological advances and the kind of changing the sweeping changes that's happening in these job roles. So I think it's good to probably let the kids be a little bit right in terms of their career search and their identifying their careers. Okay, I guess I want to just conclude by saying that. So what is the best advice that I can give all the parents and students? See, make it completely personal, right? Make it individual. Take it at a individual personal level. When you and start the journey even from school, right? I mean, things are changing. We will have a lot more. I'm sure technology would assist to bring us that about a personalized kind of learning paths, right? One size doesn't fit all, for sure, right? That big corporates are recognizing it, and a lot of opportunities are being given in big corporations for employees to grow in a certain career paths which is suited for them. Such changes will be actually sweeping our education soon. So make it individual, make it personalized, that journey, because everybody is unique. Everybody has their own potential. So, the idea is to identify what is best suited for your kid. For the students listening, identify what's best suited for you. Understand yourself better so that, you can get into those careers which kind of matches your interest, your aptitude, and your personality. If you do that, what happens is, rest assured, you will get into careers in this highly competitive world, into careers in which you will be motivated, you will be satisfied, and you will also be capable as all these changes happening around you, you would actually, at the end of the day, find personal satisfaction and professional satisfaction. I guess that's a bit from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have brought in the human element back again about being self-motivated all the time. But I'm going to ask you a very typical Indian question, which is every time we meet an advisor, we ask you exactly the specific of what should I do. So I'm going to ask this question. Can these career counseling really get into actually specializations? Like in engineering, we have all these branches. In MBA, we have all these branches. Can we use this to say you go for marketing, not just for MBA? Or you can say, oh, electronics might fit you more than mechanical engineering. Do you think that's possible?
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me just answer that question by giving you an example. So I had this IIT Delhi student coming to me for career counseling. So his first choice was computer science, but unfortunately he didn't get that. So he went for mechanical engineering at IIT, and obviously the lure of a good prestigious institutions probably made him make that choice. Obviously there's no doubt about intelligence here, right? I mean, we're talking about an IIT student. So after his graduation, he came to me. He had gotten to the job, and he was completely not in his skin. There was something wrong. He was feeling that. So what is happening here? See, when you even talk about personalities, I'm not going to get into the specifics and the in-depth things of personality types, but our personalities are also attuned to some personalities likes to work with technical stuff, with objects and facts. Some personalities like more abstract things, technical but more abstract things. So when you talk about things like civil engineering or mechanical, it's more technical with objects and facts. While to us, I'm just going to just generalize few things here. But when you talk about computers and all, it's a little more abstract. And when we did this analysis, this kid absolutely fitted into that abstraction. And there was no, it was so clear why he wasn't fitting into that role at all. So absolutely, when you talk about, there are 2-3 things I can bring in. One is personality, how it can help identify streams in engineering streams between civil, mechanical, and let's say computer or electronics. But even in terms of aptitude, the skills are different. So when you do an aptitude analysis, or the kind of aptitude you need for mechanical is completely different from certain other engineering things or civil or even electronics, right? So all this would help answer that question.
Thank you so much for that. I think we have plenty of questions that have come in, but the beauty of having a platform like MaxEd is that we can curate this question and then send them over to you, get specific answers at the later stage, and then give it back to the questioners. So I'll just ask one question each to all the panelists who are here, which have come up to me based on what I listened. So I'm going to take Devi up on this. It was quite interesting when we listed the panelists for this 2-day event, right, of disruption and innovation, etc. And then you are the only woman panelist that showed up in the list. So my question is, have we really managed to disrupt anything if we are still continuing in this highly unequal form of representation, or are new fields like fintech, where I see a lot of women innovators, a lot of women leaders and entrepreneurs, are the new fields being more balanced compared to the traditional availability bias that we have?
Yeah, again, I probably don't know the answer to it's a much bigger problem than fintech problem. But I think in the UK, at least, I'm not familiar with India as much, but in the UK, most of the fintech leaders are actually women. I would say about 40% of entrepreneurs in fintech, and some of the most successful founders, the CEO of Starling Bank, the biggest challenger bank, launched in 2012. So that's again, Anne is a wonderful person. So I think in the UK, at least, it's almost evenly split. But in India, it's a completely different phenomenon. You find in engineering courses, there are a lot of women who join engineering and tech courses. But when you look at entrepreneurship and when you look at MBAs, it's much less. I think I studied in CET in College of Engineering Trivandrum ages ago, decades ago, and I had 8 girls in my class. So it was quite low even back then, but I think it's improved now. And then I went into my MBA course at IIM Ahmedabad. It was, I think, 20 girls amongst a batch of 200. So the numbers were even less when I went into MBA. I think there is a fundamental problem in which there is a gender disparity in India for some reason at a higher level, not getting into engineering, but actually coming out and doing entrepreneurial stuff and going for MBA and stuff like that. But having said that, I like Mr. Kurivala's policy on, everybody has their own interest and everybody has their own strengths. I mean, if you don't want to be an entrepreneur and you don't want to do a startup, why force people to do that? I think my job and the fintech community's job is to make opportunities available and to make sure that there is some kind of parity in terms of what you can do, whether you're a man or a woman. But beyond that, we don't want to force people into something that they don't, that's not in their nature, not in the personality to do it. And if there are, girls listening in on the course, I just want to say that it's been absolutely fantastic in terms of fintech as a sector for women, because it combines your tech skills with your knowledge of other segments, and it gives you immense flexibility. If you work in a startup, sometimes you do work long hours, but you dictate what you want to do and when. You find the solutions to problems. There is no 9-to-5 concept. And I was quite interesting to hear that there are still engineering courses on mechanical and electronics and computer and stuff like that. I mean, 20 years since I've done that, and it's still not changed. And it's quite funny for me because that kind of separation, I don't think will exist in another 10 years. I mean, why? Everything is digital, and all of these industries will be kind of, it will become legacy at some point. So how do we then equip our students in the future? Do you think people who come out of mechanical engineering, they don't do computers? Of course they do. I mean, most of the jobs they find are in software companies. So I think there is a fundamental problem in the way engineering courses are designed today, but we can't change it overnight. But also, I just want to say that if you find a career in tech or fintech in the startup world, it's actually really great for women and for girls. It's very flexible. You can really bring your personality in, and whatever course you study, you can actually find a career in fintech. So I would actively encourage people to explore the startup world and fintech and the cool world of banking, and also try and have 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. I mean, why do one job? I probably do 8 jobs at the same time, and I know, Arun, you do as well. So, why just focus on one job as your destination? Try out different things and see what feels best. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Rohit, I hope you're here.
Yes, absolutely.
Rohit, as somebody who is heading a very fast-growing company, a tech company in India, and that too in Bombay, I wanted to ask you this. In your recruitment, are you finding high-quality, immediately employable students coming out of our educational institutions, or do you have a training system, or would you like to talk to Mr. Kurivala about finding people right from school now onwards and wait for them?
So, Arun, I think really well qualified, technologists, engineers. It's actually still a very theoretical concept, right? Because the problem that we've always had to deal with is we're building technology that's never been built in the world before, right? And so it's not about, if it's the simpler things of knowing a programming language or having experience with coding or, having tech hygiene in terms of writing clean code. I think that kind of talent is most definitely available in India, right? There's no problem whatsoever. It's not even about the city. Although we have shifted from, so today 70% of our tech org is in Bombay. We are now also opening a Bangalore tech center to recruit talent. But it's not so much about, it's not available in Bombay versus available in Bangalore, right? I think the real fundamental challenge that lies in India is people do not understand the fundamentals of tech. Right. So let me give you a simple example. Every single company today, that's working in the tech space is built on the internet. I can't even count in lower percentages of developers who understand how the internet works, right? It's a complete black hole. Nobody knows how it works. If I ever ask let's say a Java developer as to what is networking, he's like, how am I supposed to know, right? But the fundamental part is the program that they're going to build is actually not going to work unless your network works. So those are the fundamental problems that I think we have dealt with. We are also a very, very unique company who probably has had to deal with such challenges. And it's the same, right? It's not just networking versus software. We've had to deal with problems in terms of how an operating system is built, right? And no developer knows how an operating system is supposed to function. They're like, well, it's Android and it is supposed to function the way it's written in the Android manual. But that's not how it works. I think for everybody who's out there, I think it's important to understand fundamentals of technology. It's not just about going down a particular road because this particular language is cool. I think languages change literally in our last 2 years of development. I think we may have done 2 entire revamps of every single piece of programming code that we've written. Purely because you get to an efficient language, right? It's literally how Golang came into the picture and completely transformed, one aspect of technology. And the technology or the programming languages will keep changing. What will never change is fundamentals on how something is built, right? So I think that really, from an education perspective, from an individual learning perspective, I think that should be a core focus in general in life, not just with respect to technology.
Much. And Robin, I hope you're here. I have a question for you. Yes, Robin is here. Okay, you work with students, you work with creating ecosystems. I do the same at my level as much as possible too. Every single year when the Nobel Prizes come out, I feel a personal disappointment that Indians are not there, or even if Indians are there, we quickly search for which American university, Europe, or maybe Japan that they worked in. Are we foreseeing, or can we see light at the end of the tunnel that extremely high quality original innovations that really matter to people are beginning to happen in our country? And is the education system finally turning around to promoting that kind of high quality work? That's my question to you.
Okay, a very good question, Arun, here. So to answer this, there are multiple paradigms, I would say. To start with, look, our existing education, or whatever you look at it, is more of, it's driven based on performance. It's driven based on, I don't know how I call it, but at least mugging up the concepts up to a certain extent, okay? And a lot of spoon feeding at multiple levels we have seen here. But if you ask me how much is experience-based learning, or as our director from IIM was speaking it out, look, experience is really important, experience-based learning, or empathy-motivated learning, or even, look, learning should be more of a, you're learning for a cause. Look, the cause needs to be really defined here, okay? So if you look at the new education policy, NEP, I would say there are some changes that's happening now. How many years down the line this is going to get implemented and all is going, it's going to take time, and it's I don't want to go into a controversy, but at least what I feel is a choice is given to a person. If you look at the Western countries, the choice needs to be given to a student on what he needs to pursue or passionate. Okay, doesn't mean that when you take an electronics and communication, the whole 4 years you're going to get into the subjects that's just thrown at you. Okay, it should be like, look, the first year I want something, I understand what, look, in the initial stages of it, it might be the parents pursuing or pushing you to do certain things, but after 1 year you understand, okay, what is my course, or I have selected my course within at least 1 or 2 years, if I rightly put, but it can take time, it's okay, because you are trying to create the course here. Now you start anticipating the right need. So that is where the education should help you to give some more, as Kurubala has rightly mentioned, he should be able to select his need. Okay, or I would rightly call it as once he understands what is the real thing in the world, so he starts, he has to better himself, or I would say he has to start improve after finding the need, he has to improve towards that, and also he needs to fill it. Okay. So that is where the right education comes in. It's not that if you select something, electronics and communication, all the 4 years you are just tied to it and you are there. The society believes like you only do electronics and communication, and that's not what you do after that, or mechanical. It's not what you might do after that, because it's all driven by your passion and whatever you experience outside, and see, okay, what needs to be done. So I would say policy, the latest policy, at least there is a huge change that we see where the students or the budding talents are given some opportunity to select their path, at least the subjects. For example, I am very passionate in music. Okay. If I had a chance in my second year also to pursue music as my second subject, surely I would have gone for it. And today I might have started even thinking on how technology and music could have improved, and I might have made much advances in that area. Look, it's not only just learning some of the mechanics and the statistics of it. It's also trying to balance both your right and the left brain. So it's I wouldn't say you will get properly balanced here, but at least when you start realizing that your cause is something that you're trying to work towards, and this is what I need to do towards that cause, you make wonders. And that wonders will be actually creating the empowerment on the other side of the journey. And that's how the Nobel gets, I would say, coming into the play. It's not just because someone just invented something or got something and just out of the blue they are doing it. Years of perseverance, as I've already told you, the perseverance and the patience that they have waited to do it. But all that starts, if you're dumb in your initial days of your education. I am saying from my perspective, I am dumb. I was dumb. Okay. I never knew what to do with what I'm doing. Okay. But after a year or two, I would say, I started realizing, hey, I'm not a guy in something which I am learning, but I am a guy which I wanted to go more horizontal, understand what are the other things too. So go into the music side of it, dramatic side of it, understand what is happening in the other parts. And I would say knowing there will actually help you what you're doing in the other part of it, because both these things gets balanced, and you see it's always the pie model, no? So you have a horizontal, and you have two verticals. One vertical would be the one you want to, you have already invested and you know that you're going to get a job there, but another vertical that you are always trying to crave to move into that and get the right notion out of it and get the right power out of it. So you become the best. I don't know, but that's what I feel. But finally, what I wanted to make here is, look, education should be more flexible. Okay, it's not that once you select something, you are just bound to it. It just in itself, it should have some flexibility. Like the new NEP promises that, but we have to see how it goes in. And students out there, what I would say is, look, more than the passion, find your real cause. Look, passion you might get from your little experience in these days, but what is the actual cause this passion is going to get linked, and what is the experience you want to gain? Go out there, look for it, crave for it, and then start learning how and what are the basic things that you need to learn. Learning can happen at any point of time, like Devi was saying. Okay, you can learn it, but evangelize for the cause that you are trying to live in, and automatically everything will happen, is what I feel.
Thank you so much. So with that, I would like to conclude this session because we ran exactly 90 minutes now. I'm glad everybody stuck to the time and we could, never stand between people and their lunch breaks. So we could get it wrapped up before 12:30. I would like to thank each and every panelist here. Arjun had to leave, but Rohit, thank you so much for being here. Devi, thank you for waking up early in the morning and joining us. Robin, always a pleasure to listen to you. And Eldo, thank you for all your attempts and all the very best in attempting to bring change into the education system. So as part of concluding remark, I would like to make my humble tuppence into this matter. I think the culprit that we usually overlook in the education system is this thing called examination. And in India, it is a terror and tyrannical aspect because we have something called the university affiliated system, where the faculty is actually a very powerless puppet whose entire performance is judged on based on how many people he can manage to clear in a standardized set of questions that come in here. There is no experience, there is nothing that can be shared beyond what are there in the holy books, which will be tested in the end. Now, with the technology, as we heard from Arjun, as we heard from Rohit and Robin, we have reached a stage where we can actually have measures of competence which have nothing to do with the examination system. We can do it continuously. We can do it in a customized way. We can look at the individual based on how he or she is making progress. And I think that's the big disruption that's waiting to happen. And that would be a major nuclear explosion kind of disruption when it comes, when we decide on an education system that's no longer worried about a 3-hour sitting down with a question paper and somehow finishing it to get a degree and then, have the vanity for the rest of your life. So thank you so much, Dr. Vineet, Times of India, Vedatma, wonderful name again, Vedatma, and Web Cardio, and LEAD, obviously, a very institution very close to our hearts. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Over to Dr. Vineet.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Arun Surendran. Thank you for moderating the session. It was wonderfully moderated. Thank you to all the speakers who, in spite of their busy schedule, they have agreed to come. Thank you, Rohit, for coming from Mumbai. Eldo is there. Robin is there. Then we have Devi. She's coming from UK. So thank you very much for coming up. And I think the whole standard of this whole discussion has really gone up because of the presence of everybody in this panel. And the tone was set by Professor Debashish. What a way to go. I think on this high note, we should be winding up session 1 and we should be getting into session 2 post lunch. Before we wind up, there's a small video. I promised to play a small video at the start of the session. We were not able to do that because of technical difficulties. And over to the technical team. Can we have the video of Vedatma, please?
Vedatma means self-knowledge. And through this in-depth knowledge of self, we help every student become their best. We guide students through this exciting process of self-discovery, helping them find answers to questions like, who am I? What am I passionate about? What are my skills and strengths? This discovery enables them to make an informed choice related to study, streams and careers that are best suited for them, ensuring professional success and personal satisfaction. How does it work? We identify a student's unique natural potential using world-renowned career assessments. This is the convergence of their personality, interest, and aptitude. These assessments can be done online at the student's convenience at home. After these assessments, the student needs to attend 3 online one-to-one counseling sessions with a certified counseling expert. Parents can join as observers. By the end of session 3, we help the student identify his or her unique potential, which in turn helps in choosing the best fit study, streams and careers. Why us? We use world-class assessments like MBTI and strong interest inventory, which are gold standards in career assessments. Unlike group counseling sessions in schools, we offer individual online counseling. We spend over 6 hours spread over 3 sessions with each student, ensuring a highly personalized counseling experience. Who benefits? Students in classes 9 and 10 to select their study streams in +2. Students in classes 11 and 12 to choose college courses. Students in college to select postgraduate courses or their best suited careers. Visit us on www.vedatma.com for more information.
And with that, we are breaking for this breaking for the session for the lunch break, and we will rejoin back exactly at 2:30. And to the extent possible, we are trying to keep time, thanks to moderators and to the speakers. And the second session for today is healthcare and opportunities. That's again going to be a very wonderful session, and we have lined up very good speakers from across India. So that's one session which everybody, healthcare specialists or healthcare professionals and even students and parents would be eagerly looking at. So let's rejoin at 2:30. Thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch break. Thank you very much.
Thank you.